Hey guys, it's Joey again from the Just Your Average Joey channel with more of the average daily smack that we talk about. It's been a few weeks since I posted anything. We finally got rid of the snow here in East Tennessee, in the Knoxville area, and so I had to go back to work, quite frankly. I teach school, as I think I told you in an earlier video. So we've used quite a few snow days here this year. I think we've used 9 now and we have 12 budgeted in. So we have about 3 more that we can use and not have to pay for them. So, there's probably not a teacher out there right now that wouldn't say, let's use them. Let's use them. Of course, we are getting, this is the end of February here, and we're heading into March, and just a few weeks we'll be on spring break. So, at this point, I'm like, um, I'm kind of ready for some warm weather, so I don't know that we really need any more snow. That's one of my cats popping his head up here, trying to get in on the action. So, but anyway, tonight, before I get started, I want to tell you I'm not sick. I realize that my tongue is blue, but of course, we just passed Valentine's Day here, and I am. I don't know if you can see these or not. Those little conversation hearts. I went to the supermarket yesterday, and of course they had those like 80% off or something. I think there's like 20 in a pack or something. So anyway, I've been chowing on those tonight. That's why my tongue's blue. I think all those colors meld together and it ends up being blue. Tonight, I want to talk to you about something. I usually try to talk to you about something, a product that I've used that I really enjoy, or maybe didn't enjoy, or just something about nothing. But as I am rapidly approaching 50, I have finally joined the club, and I had to go get some reading glasses. Okay, and that's not necessarily the whole story. Of course, I've worn contact lens for, gosh, since 1983, which is what this is 2016, so that's 33 years, quite a few years for far away. Can't see far away. And of course, just in the last few years, and man, you talk about something that absolutely happens overnight. You just wake up one day and you're like, I can't see a thing up close. So that's the way it happened with me. And it actually started a couple of years ago. A few years ago, I was teaching math at the time. And of course, it was a double whammy because, the teacher's edition has the answers in it. But it was a double whammy because, first of all, the answers are about that big. And then on top of that, some genius had the idea to print them in light pale highlighter pink. Okay. So, my students would call me out on it. They'd be like, that's a 6, not an 8. And, I had those drugstore readers at the time, and I'd be like, oh, you're right. It is an 8. It is an 8. So, I went with those for a while. And the problem with me was, if I had my contacts in, then I couldn't see up close. So I would need the readers. But if I didn't have my contacts in, then I didn't need the readers, but of course I couldn't see far away. So, that was the deal with that. But just in the past, year or so, I really had gotten tired of messing with the contacts, okay? And, having to put those in and clean them and all that stuff. So I'd gotten kind of tired of that. So my eye doctor suggested these progressive lenses, and I really do like them. Now, depending on who you talk to, you're going to get a different version of that. And, you can read comments. There's a lot of videos here on YouTube about these progressive lenses, and, people seem to either love them or they hate them. And I'm one of those that loves them. Now, I have a colleague that I work with, and she's having a hard time getting used to hers. Now, she's not saying she hates them, but she's just having a hard time getting used to them. Well, there's really a secret to it, and it's an easy secret. Now, my glasses came in on a Friday, and so it took me all of that weekend maybe to get used to them. And I really don't even want to say that because it wasn't an effort to get used to them. But there is a few little things that you have to get used to. So, and then I think we had some snow that next week, so we were out a few more days. So I had plenty of time to get used to them before I had to go back to work. But the thing that you need to remember about progressive lenses, if you're going to try and wear them or if you're trying to get used to them, is to let your nose do the walking or the seeing, so to speak. Whatever you are trying to look at, make sure that your nose is pointed in that direction, and then it'll be automatic to you. Now, that's not to say that you even have to think about it, but I'm saying when you're trying to get used to these, just remember to point your nose in the direction that you're looking at something, and it'll be automatic to you. That's, and like I'm saying, you're not going to have to go around all the time pointing your nose because you won't. You'll get so used to it. Of course, these lenses have three levels of focus. The upper level, and when I say levels, it comes down almost to a V shape. The upper level, which has a wider range, is for far away, beyond arm's length. This is the level that you'll be using when you're driving, looking far away. Uh, of course, the mid level, which is what I'm using right now to speak with you guys, is for arm's length, right at the end of arm's length. And that's when you're on the computer, and the lens on this camera here on my laptop is up at the top of the computer screen, and so my nose is pointed at that lens right now, and I'm automatically looking through this middle layer of the lens. Then, of course, when you get down to the bottom, if I want to read the nutrition facts on this empty box of conversation hearts, it says one box is 90 calories. So I've had an extra 180 calories today. So two boxes. But that's my lot on those because after a while they get, kind of sweet. So anyway, that's the thing to remember about these lenses. So if you're trying to see far away, if I take these lenses off right now because I don't have my contacts in, I can't see far away. It's blurred. But these progressive lenses serve all three purposes: for far away, mid range, which is at the end of arm's length, and then the up close. Now, I will say this about the progressive lenses. Probably where you're going to have to make the biggest adjustment is when you first try to drive in them. And the reason is because you're using all levels at all times. You're looking far away when you're driving. You might need to look down at your instrument panel on your car. That's the mid range, okay? You might get, no, I started to say you might get a text. Ignore that, okay? Uh, you might look at your phone or something when you are stopped, okay? Uh, Boy, I just broke the law here in Tennessee. No texting while you're driving, and you shouldn't anyway. But you may, anything up close, then you're going to use this lower level. So the thing to remember is to let your nose do the walking or the seeing for you when you're trying to get used to these. Whatever you're trying to look at, make sure your nose is pointed in that direction, and it's going to be automatic to you. Now, the only other thing, that's my cat scratching down there, making that noise. The only other thing that I do want to say about these lenses, in addition to probably where you're going to have a little adjustment to make, is when you're driving. So that's that, but you can do it. I mean, it's nothing. Again, once you get used to these, it's nothing. The only other thing is that you will probably notice that right around the edge of these lenses, when you're trying to use your peripheral vision, Like I have a bottled water sitting over to the side right now. If I try to look with my peripheral vision and look at that bottle, it looks like it's leaning a little. It looks a little distorted, and that's because of the progression of the lenses. Now, if I point my nose at that bottle and look at it like I'm supposed to, it's perfect. It's perfect. And I can use all three levels right now. I can look far away. I can look using the mid section. I can see the big letters on the label. And then I can even see the ingredients down there at the bottom with this lower level, and which is just water and purified minerals, it says, for taste, gives it a little bit better taste. The only other thing is don't pick up bad habits when you wear these glasses. Those of you that had to use the reading glasses like I used to, when these slide down your nose, you're going to be tempted to do what you used to do with your readers and look above. And the problem is, if you can't see far away, it's all going to be blurry and you're going to be like, what in the world? So you've got to remember when these slide down your nose to keep them pushed up, or you'll pick up those old bad habits thinking that, you're looking above your readers to see, and you don't need to do that with these, okay? So I really did enjoy these lenses, and like I said, I was getting tired of messing with the contacts, so I don't know that I'll wear them all the time when I'm doing these videos because there's such a glare with them and my lighting's so crappy. Amateur, amateur. But I wanted to talk to you about these tonight. And if you're thinking of trying the progressive lenses, don't let all the comments that you read about them deter you from trying them. I tend to believe with things like that, a can do attitude will help you more than anything. And so, I didn't have any trouble at all getting used to them. Again, like I said, let your nose do the seeing or do the walking for you, and you shouldn't have any trouble at all. And I hope that if you do try them, you enjoy yours as much as I do mine because they really are pretty good. I'm glad, you don't have the bifocal line and all that stuff. And, they have a lot of trendy selections with them. So, I've enjoyed mine, and I hope that if you're trying to learn to use yours or if you're thinking about getting them, that you'll go ahead and try. Now, I will say this, they are a bit expensive, and as you might imagine, but in my mind, it's definitely worth the investment. So that's all I want to talk to you about tonight is my progressive lenses. And again, if you're trying to learn to use them or if you've gotten some, let me know about it. And I'd love to hear about your experiences with them. So just put it down there in the comments section. I'll be glad to read it and would love to hear from you. That's all for now. We'll see you next time. And thanks for watching.